So once again, good news to you, Jesse. And we are now on Unit 2 on crop production, agriculture, and trade. Last time we discussed about energy flow, so please check on this video to go back to the topics that we've discussed last time. And to continue, we're now on the crop production, agriculture, and trade. So we will talk about nutrition and and of course you know what is nutrition, Jesse, right? What do we mean by nutrition, Jesse? Can you hear me? So nutrition is is the is the study on what are the different nutrients or the beneficial chemicals that we can find in every food that we eat. No, not only fruits and vegetables, but also meat products and a lot of food sources. So I'd like to share this note that we should eat variety of fruits and vegetables, not only once a week, but every day. Because as you can see, um, here on the next slide, you can see here the table with the different nutrient contents of different fruits, no? So just to show you, these are based on the what do you call this? Um percent daily values, no? Based on 2000 calorie diet. So we have here, as you can see, the as you can see, which has the among this on this group on the slide, which has the highest vitamin C. I say vitamin C is very important nowadays, no, to fight against the virus. So, which among these fruits that you need to see to have more than the recommended or to gain the recommended rate of vitamin C? So, Jesse, can you hear me? So, as you can see here, when we have grapefruit, it's a citrus, as 100% of vitamin C, so it can supply to us based on a 2000 calorie diet of 100% vitamin C na. But more than that is the kiwi fruit, which is 240% of the vitamin C content, and followed by the cantaloupe, which is 80%. So that's for vitamin C. For vitamin A, you can see cantaloupe has the highest among this group. So in terms of calories, these are the energy you get from these fruits. We have the highest is banana. So banana a day will give you a lot of energy. And followed by grapes, kiwi fruit, uh, and no, it's actually apple, no, which is the highest compared to banana, and then followed by banana, and then so on, kiwi fruit. And we also have avocados as a good source of calorie, no. And aside from that, you also have protein content, but ranges from 0 to 1. No, we also have um, vitamin calcium. No, it's also important, and you can see kiwi has 4%, while iron is almost 2% on almost all fruits. And also take note that in terms of sugar content, it doesn't mean that these are fruits, they don't have any more sugar. They still have sugar, no, like 25 grams for apple, and for grapes 20 grams. On the next slide, you can see here the highest vitamin C is strawberry, no, but not as high as the kiwi fruit, which is 240% vitamin C. And then you have pineapple 50%. And also in terms of proteins, ranges 1 gram, no? And calories, you have pear and sweet cherries 100 calories. And probably the highest sugar is 20 grams, no? And here in 25 grams from apple compared to others. So you have high iron content in watermelon too. So in terms of calcium, 4% calcium in tangerine. So for vegetables, highest vitamin C is in broccoli, which is 220%, next to kiwi fruit, which is 240. And then followed by bell pepper, which is 190%, then cauliflower 100%. So for vitamin A naman, carrot has the highest, no, which is 110%. And most of the vegetables has even higher sugar content, no. I know lower sugar. They have lower sugar content compared to fruits. And they have high dietary fiber, no. But here pear has very high 6% dietary fiber. Yan. And next is this group also has fewer compared to the first one among the vegetables. Vitamin C, but potato has high calorie and sweet potato also. White potato is the white potato is 110, while compared to sweet potatoes 100 only. So those are the different nutrients, vitamins and minerals that we can obtain from these fruits and vegetables. That is why it is really needed to eat them every day, no, variety of them. So comparing naman our staple crop, which is rice, between brown and white rice, as you can see, yung my colored is the higher, no? So, ang yung white rice, usually, this is a negative notion from what is fact, because we always say that brown rice are more, are richer in nutrients, are healthier. Yes, that's true. But in terms of calories and all contents of vitamins and minerals, it has actually higher compared to brown sugar. Well, for fiber, you can only see that dietary fiber is higher than the white rice, no? So, and so on. But in terms of calories, white rice is higher. In terms of protein, white rice is higher. And carbohydrates, and but what else? In terms of potassium, in terms of for folate, we have brown rice. So almost all of the white rice. So it depends actually on which vitamins and minerals is higher. So aside from nutrition, another area is land utilization in the Philippines. So the Philippines has about 29,005,000 to 28 528 and 300 hectares of land, and each of these are subdivided into different land uses. So ang pinaka-highest ng land use, which is 64%, is the forestry area. So, and it is good because it's for the conservation of our environment, and followed by the agriculture area, which is 32% of this land, while the rest are just open lands, settlements, and so on. So again, the Philippines has almost 300,000 square kilometers, no, land of area. So For it has about 298,000 land and 1,830 water, no, square kilometers, and 9.5 million hectares of that is the agricultural land area, which can be arable or permanent cropland or permanent meadows. So, food utilization is defined as the proper food processing and storage techniques, no, the employment of this food processing and storage techniques, and this is an adequate knowledge of nutrition and child care technique where it exists and is applied. And this is according to USAID 1994. And adequate health and sanitation services also exist. So that is how we utilize food. No, there is food processing, and there is storage, and how is the nutrition and childcare techniques and health and sanitation. So this is a report based on 2009 to 2013, no, wherein we consume food. Here the different consumption of different commodities, like if it's not so clear in here, but if you will zoom this out, rice has like 325 grams per day consumption as of 2006, no, and this is from 2013 to, and as of 2013, 319.12 grams per day siya. So among all of this, as you can see, rice followed by corn has the highest consumption that we have by each Filipino. So these are the top 10 Philippine agricultural exports. So we export these crops as we produce them. So as you can see on the list, coconut oil. This is not actually arranged, but these are the top 10, no? This is not arranged by from highest to lowest, but as you can see, ang highest dito in terms of quantity is the banana, no? Fresh banana. And it has shown that it has growth rate of 28%, no, from 2011 to 2012. So followed by coconut oil and then pineapple. So these are the top produce that we export. We send them off to other countries like Japan, Europe, and US. And then we have copra oil cake. We also export fertilizer, sugar, and so on. No, even tuna. So these are the majority markets of these top 10 agricultural exports. Like for coconut, we have US, Netherlands, Japan, Italy, and UK. For banana, our markets are Japan, China, Korea, Singapore, and others. And for tuna, we have US, Germany, Japan, UK, Italy. And for pineapple, we have US, Japan, Singapore, Korea, Hong Kong. So it's also important that as future agriculturists, because this will really also, as in the board exam. So aside from that, it is also important that when you engage in production someday, you know where are your markets are, especially for export. So like for coconut desiccated, US, Netherlands, Belgium, Australia. For seaweeds naman and carrageenan, you have US, Belgium, Spain, Denmark, China, and others. For tobacco, we have Thailand, Korea, Singapore, Indonesia, and Vietnam. And for copra oil, we have Korea, Vietnam, China, Netherlands, and Pakistan, and so on. So these are also, aside from we export or send off a lot of products into other countries, we also import or buy products from other countries. No, and number one is wheat and mesclun. This is the one that we use for baking, especially for bread. So in terms of quantity, wheat is the highest, followed by soybean and then rice. We still know, although we the International Rice Research Institute is in the Philippines, but Vietnam remains to be the top producer of rice. And so that's why sometimes we still import rice. And we also have fertilizers, no? We also produce fertilizer. And we also, at the same time, import them, like urea and milk products, especially no, from New Zealand and Australia. And we also import coffee, meat of bovine animals, tobacco, and corn. No, so and the major suppliers of each imported products are the following. We import wheat from US, Australia, India, Canada, and Singapore. Soybean from US, Argentina, India, Australia, and Taiwan. And milk and cream products, New Zealand, US, Australia, France, Thailand. And rice in Vietnam, India, Pakistan, Myanmar, Thailand. Fertilizer from China, Canada, Vietnam, Korea, and Japan. And urea from China, Malaysia, Indonesia, Singapore, and Vietnam. And also coffee from Indonesia, Vietnam, Malaysia, Thailand, Singapore. So, um, and also meat from India, Australia, New Zealand, US, and Brazil. Tobacco from China, Turkey, Brazil, Belgium, and Malaysia. And corn from Thailand, Africa, Brazil, India, and US. So it's also important to know where does this imported products came from. So like when you choose not to buy um um like GMO products, no, like corn. So most of the GMO products, especially corn, GMO corn, are found in the US. So you will know that when it can come from US, so it's definitely maybe GMO. So these are the annual production of selected crops in the Philippines. So this is just to show you the amounts of of every commodities that we produce, no, for palay. So this is in terms of metric tons. So like the highest that we produce here are actually sugar cane, no, followed by palay. But if you're going to combine the irrigated and rain fed, so it's just as much as the sugar cane. And we have banana for export, and also pineapple for export, and also cassava. So you can see here a lot. And for vegetables, we have highest tomato. And this is the amount, those are the volumes, no, this in this slide you can see the area planted, which is more or less equivalent to the amount also, or to the volume. But as you can see here, the highest or the widest area that we planted or harvested is coconut, and followed by rice and corn, no, and also for vegetables we have mongo, followed by peanut. And the annual yield, because it's very important as a farmer, as an agriculture, is to know and what is the annual yield or expected yield that you, so you will know that your yield now it is just between or above previous yield or the expected yield talaga. So you will, if this is also important when you are having experiment, and so you can compare your actual yield using a particular experiment, or may treatment ka. So if you're going to apply fertilizer this much, so is it higher than the reference annual yield per hectare? So it depends for each product, no? Like for palay, in terms of metric tons, nasa 3, no? For corn, nasa 2 to 3, no? And for banana, it has 20, range from 2016 to 57. So Cavendish has higher annual year per hectare. So depende yon sa each product, no? And this must also might be also asked in your board exam. So you have to take those on this, take note on this. So usually yung mga fruits and vegetables would just range from 4 to 12, 15 ang metric tons yield per hectare. So from 2 for garlic, no? Ganyan kababa. And there's even like 0.04, less than 1 pa nga yung cotton, no? Yung mga non-food industrial crops has less than 1 mostly. And for fruits and vegetables, mostly from 2, 3 to 20. So where are the major crop producers in Philippines? So Philippines is divided into how many regions? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16 regions, no? And we belong to the Davao region 11. So you can see here on this presentations, this is not as recent as 2020, but mostly the same lang yung coverage, and mostly as in the board exam are not so recent, no? So you just have to follow the trend. So for palay, no, for rice, it has increased to this is in metric tons, no, million. So 18 as of 2013, it has increased not from 2010. So this and in terms of this one is in terms of production, and this is terms of area. So nag-i-increase din ng area as well as the production. So among the different regions in the Philippines, the highest or top producer of palay is pinakamalaking pie is the Central Luzon. So that's why Central Luzon are the major producer of rice, no? Followed by Cagayan, Western Visayas, Ilocos Norte, and others, no? So these are the amount of palay harvested, and these are the top producing for irrigated, and these are for the rain-fed. So as you can see, sa Western Visayas, yung rain-fed compare, and Central Luzon yung irrigated palay. But in terms of area, Central Luzon has the highest area among the Philippines. And for corn, you can see that the amount of production as well as the area is just maintaining to 7 million metric tons as of 2013. And the highest producer is Cagayan Valley, followed by Soxargen and Northern Mindanao. In terms of area naman, Soxargen has the highest area, followed by Cagayan Valley and Northern Mindanao. While the for white corn compared to yellow corn, yung ARM has the highest, no, in terms of white corn, but the Cagayan Valley is higher in terms of yellow corn. So for banana, you can see that it has its peak on 2012 and it's about to decrease on 2013 in terms of um, amount of harvest and also production. So the Northern Mindanao is the highest producer, no? And in terms naman of area, the highest is the still Davao region. And for calamansi, so you can see na na-decrease siya as of 2030 in terms of production volume and area. And the highest producer is Memaropa, no? So this is for durian, no? In production area and yield per hectare. So this is just to emphasize to you the trend for durian. So as of nag-increase ba siya? Yes, nag-increase, no, in terms of production. And the highest producer is itong Davao region. And in terms of yield per hectare, yung yield is nasa average ng 5, no, metric tons. And in terms of area naman, you can see that Davao region has the highest area, and although it decreased as of 2013. So for lanzones, so isa-isahin mo talaga bawat crop, no? This is just to, for you to know the different, no, the different production status ng ating country for different crops. Like for lanzones, no? All in all, nag-increase siya from 15,000 metric tons to 35,000 in 2013. And the highest production is in etong ARM sa lanzones. In terms of area, ay most probably yung ARM pa din ang highest ko, and then followed by Calabarzon. But the yield is just ranging about 1.77, no? So it increased from 2009 to 2013. So okay pa ba dyan, Jessie? Can you hear me? So and lastly, for mandarin, you can see that Davao region still has the Cagayan Valley pala, followed by Calabarzon, and Davao region has the highest production, no? And it actually decreased as of 2013 from 2009. And in terms of area, ganun pa din, Cagayan Valley, Calabarzon, and Bicol region, as well as ARM. And usually nasa 1.7 metric tons from 2, nag-decrease siya, no? From 2009 to 2013. So, for mango naman, you can see that this is the area planted and this is the increase of bearing trees and the production. So, nagpapa-increase yung bearing trees, samantala yung area planted is pareho lang, as well as the production. And the highest producer ay Ilocos region, followed by Zamboanga, Central Visayas, Central Luzon. And in terms of different variety like Pico, Carabao, and mostly Carabao mango ang ating pinuproduce. So next is for mangosteen. So you can see that we have increased from 1,000 to 9,000 metric tons. Highest producer ay the ARM, and highest production area, ganun pa din, ARM, and nasa 1.34 ang metric tons ang yield. And for orange, it decreased in terms of production from 4,000 to 3,000 in 2013. And the higher area, in terms of area naman, ang highest producer ay Davao region, as well as in terms of not in area, but in Cagayan at saka Ilocos region, ang highest in terms of area. For papaya production,
Jem, Jem dong.
and it has a yield of 2.4 metric tons. And for papaya, so you just check for the trends, no? Everything is provided here. Check for the trends, no? For papaya, for instance, nasa 166,000 metric tons and highest ang Northern Mindanao in terms also of Soxargen in terms of area. And it has 19.35 metric tons yield per hectare. And for pineapple, eto makikita mo sa chart, kasi not all, based on the references, not all are provided with chart. So, itong my chart, like for pineapple, you can see that the area planted increased in 2013 and production as well. And the highest is Soxargen, the highest producer. For rambutan, we have Calabarzon as the highest. So, nasa 7,400. But it actually, the production from 2009 to 2013 decreased actually. No, in terms of area, we have Soxargen and Calabarzon as the highest. And nasa 1.20 metric tons ang yield per harvest. And for tamarind, the highest producer ay Ilocos and Cagayan, no? Which actually decreased. And in terms of area naman, Ilocos region ang may pinakamalaking area. And it has 3.7 metric tons yield per harvest. For watermelon, you can see that Western Visayas is the top producer in terms of volume, but in terms of area, both Calabarzon and Western Visayas, and it has 18.78. So as you can see, it has increased its production. So for abaca, you can see an erratic chart, no? In terms of production, although it just maintained, but in terms of area, bumaba in 2010 and 2011, tumaas naman ulit 2012, and nag-decrease siya ng konti 2013. So ano ang pinaka-highest producer ng abaca? We have the Bicol region. For cacao, yung highest producer naman ay Davao region. While the production is just maintained through the years from 2009 to 2013, yung area at saka yung number of bearing trees also is just maintained. So that's for cacao and cashew. For cashew naman, sa Bemarupa siya mainly produced, no? As you can see, the production have increased, the area has maintained, and the number of bearing trees, no? And for coconut naman, all of them are just maintained, no? And the highest producer is yung Davao region. For coffee, you have maintained din lahat ng production area and number of trees. And the top producer ng coffee ay Soxargen. So in terms of variety naman, ang pinakamadaming variety na pinuproduce sa Philippines ay Robusta, no? Followed by Arabica, Excelsa, and Liberica. So, na-double lang yung coffee, no? For cotton naman, as you can see, nag-decrease tayo ng production from 2009 to 2013 in terms of area and production. And our main producer ay Soxargen, top producer. For rubber, is actually Zamboanga, followed by Soxargen. And as you can see, rubber is just steady lang, no? Na-sustain yung production. Although medyo nag-increase siya from 2009 to 2013. For sugarcane, overall, nag-maintain lang siya, no? Although nag-decrease siya sa 2010. And it's Western Visayas, followed by Northern Mindanao as the top producers. For tobacco naman is increasing from 2009 to 2013 in terms of production and area, and the highest producer is Ilocos region. But in terms of variety, Virginia compared to native is higher, no? He's the highest that's being produced. And for cabbage naman, nag-decrease siya by 2013 in terms of area and production. But the CAR or yung sa Baguio as the top producer. For kamote, nag-decrease siya no kumpara sa 2009. But the top producer ay ang Bicol region. For cassava, top producer ay ARM followed by Northern Mindanao. But in terms of area, nag-decrease siya, but production is high. For eggplant naman, you can see nag-decrease siya by 2013, but the production increased. But in terms of area, so you can see anong implication nito. So although yung area hindi nag-increase, ang nag-increase lang ay ang production, it means na mataas ang harvest, no? Or nadagdagan yung harvest. Maybe because of fertilizer use or because of mga condition, weather condition. So the top producer is Ilocos region, followed by Calabarzon. For garlic, you can see na nag-decrease yung production natin in terms of area and volume. And Ilocos region is the top producer. For Mongo naman, tumaas siya pero nag-decrease pa din siya ng 2013. No, in terms of volume and area. And Cagayan, Ilocos region, followed by Cagayan Valley, were the top producers. So definitely, as of now, ganun pa din yung trend, no? It doesn't actually change through the decades. So for onion, nag-increase siya. And Central Luzon is the top producer. For peanut naman, nag-decrease talaga siya. While in Ilocos region, followed by Cagayan Valley, are the top producer. For tomato, nag-decrease din talaga siya. And Bicol region, Ilocos region, and Northern Mindanao are the top producer. For asparagus naman, it decreased throughout the years, and the Soxargen is the highest producer. And in terms of area, ganun din, no? Soxargen pa din has highest area devoted to asparagus. And nasa 10.49 ang kanyang yield per hectare. For broccoli, nag-increase siya, and the top producer is Northern Mindanao, also in terms of area. Nasa 9.9 ang kanyang yield metric tons per hectare. For carrots, medyo nag-maintain lang siya. The top producer ay CAR in terms of area also, and nasa 14 ang kanyang yield per harvest. So for cauliflower, nag-increase siya, no? And the top producer ay nasa CAR pa din, followed by the Ilocos region. Also in terms of area. So nasa 10 din ang range ng kanyang yield per hectare in metric tons. And for gabi, as you can see, Eastern Visayas is top producer ng root crops mainly, no? And in terms of area, Eastern Visayas pa din. Nasa 7 metric tons per hectare ang yield. For ginger, the top producer ay ang Calabarzon, no? No, it's Northern Mindanao. It's higher by 5,000. And nag-increase naman siya, no? In terms of area naman, Calabarzon. Compared to Northern Mindanao. Northern Mindanao followed by Calabarzon. And 7.2 is the nag-increase yung yield per hectare. So, makikita mo ang trends dito. So, you just check, no, Jessie. Anyway, this is for you to study, no? For corn and for habichuelas. These are complete list. We also have lettuce. We also have okra. These are complete list and pechay, native and Chinese pechay, ube, and white potato. So, iniisa-isa ko pa, but then these are all summarized, no, as to top producer, and usually top producer in terms of volume and area. So, Davao region, yun yung top producers ng banana, pomelo, and durian. The Ilocos region 1 in mango and tamarind. The northern Mindanao in terms of pineapple. Mimaropa in terms of calamansi. And the ARM or region 12 in terms of lanzones and mangosteen. And for papaya, Soxargen, rambutan, calabarzon, and orange Bicol region. For vegetables naman, Ilocos region is the top producer ng eggplant, tomato, and garlic, while northern Mindanao for lettuce and ginger. And for corn naman, usually itong mga high-valued crops like cabbage, broccoli, carrots, habichuelas, Chinese pechay, and asparagus in Soxargen. Ang palaya, okra, string beans, and onion is in central Luzon. Gourd, radish, calabarzon, ginger squash in Cagayan Valley, and kangkong in ARM. For some serious legumes, rice is top producer ay Central Luzon. For corn, the top producer is Cagayan Valley, and for cassava, ARM, mango, and peanut is Ilocos region. For cut flowers naman, mostly are the Cordillera Administrative Region or CAR for gladiolus, rose, and chrysanthemum. For plantation naman, crops, we have coconut and cacao from Davao region, coffee and cotton from Soxargen, sugarcane in Western Visayas, and abaca in Bicol region. So those are the top producers that you must take note and will definitely be asked in your board exam. So these are the last topic that we're going to talk about are the research and education institutes of the Philippines. So these are just to enumerate the different research and education institutes na usually crop-based, like the Cotton Research and Development Institute. We have that in the Philippines. Now, PhilFIDA na siya, no? Yung sa abaca at saka sa cotton industry. We also have the Philippine Tobacco Research and Training Center, the Forest Products Research and Development Institute, the Philippine Rice Research Institute, aside from the International Rice Research Institute, which is based in the Philippines in Los Baños, Laguna. We also have the Institute of Plant Breeding in UPLB, the National Crop Protection Center in UPLB, and National Plant Genetic Resource Laboratory. We also have Farm System and Soils Research Institute, and the Post-Harvest Horticulture Training and Research Center in UPLB pa din. And we also have discipline-oriented research centers. We have the Institute of Plant Breeding, the National Crop Protection Center, the National Plant Genetic Resource Lab, the Farming System and Soils Research Institute, and the Post-Harvest Horticultural Training and Research Center. And we also have International Research Organization. As I have said, the International Rice Research Institute is found here in the Philippines, in UP Los Baños. We also have Centro Internacional de Mejoramiento de Maíz y Trigo. So in English, it's International Center for Rice and perhaps corn. And the Centro Internacional de Patatas or the Potato International Center. So that's all for this session, Jessie. I hope you have some questions because you're not so interacting so much. So, Jessie, can you talk now? Are you there? Jessie?
Hi, ma'am.
Yes. Do you have any question? Can you say about the presentation as a whole? So what have you, did you hear
Hello,
me?
ma'am.
Did you hear the discussion? Jessie? Na,
Hello, ma'am.
madungog ko nimo?
Ay, sorry.
Yeah, do you have a question?